This is SportsCenter at the Indianapolis 500.
Moments ago here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, an incident on the racetrack involving the 10T car, the Target Ganassi car. 30-year-old Darren Manning spinning around. He had just been over 225.4 miles per hour. Along with Scott Goodyear, I'm Jerry Punch. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Scott, Darren Manning getting quicker and quicker as the laps clicked off, but that one a moment ago, a disaster for him.
Well, Doc, I think what happens right now, it's absolutely the pressure that's starting to mount in all these drivers. You know, he was 14th in his T car and 23rd in his primary car. So what we see right there, after he's hit the retaining wall on the outside, that safer barrier, the car is now coming back across the track, coming off turn 4. Luckily not to be collected by the two other cars that are actually passing him by. But the key thing right now, pressure mounting in all the drivers as we watch again. The car is spun around in the middle of the turn. Here he comes, hitting that safer barrier. Watch that impact. That safer barrier saved Buddy Rice yesterday and hopefully allow him to compete further next week. But I'll tell you right now, I wish the safer barrier was around when I was driving. It certainly would have saved a lot of us.
You saw how he gave there and absorbed some of the energy a moment ago. You know, the big story also today is the speeds are escalating. 8 cars over 226 miles per hour, led by impressive rookie Danica Patrick, who just within the last half hour turned the quickest lap of the month in her Rahal Letterman Argent Pioneer machine. Danica 227.633 miles per hour. What an impressive lap for Danica Patrick, you know. And she climbed out of the car, and we asked her, do you believe that you are a contender for the pole? Let's hear what she had to say.
I believe that, you know, after, you know, Motegi and feeling good there and qualifying second and just how the team works, and I guess even after last year, you know, knowing how Buddy did, I have no reason to not think we can't go for pole.
We all know that to do those speeds, you need a tow, and you know everybody else has been taking advantage of it. We might as well. She's running almost 226 by herself, and I think you're going to have to run that qualifying to have a chance at the front row.
If anyone wondered what would happen to Rahal Letterman when the fact that their lead driver and the guy that everyone looks to for advice, Buddy Rice, would not be here today, you understand they've all pulled together like a football team or a basketball team that's lost their leader and their quarterback. They pulled together to get quicker and stronger. But what a day by Danica Patrick.
You know, she just continues to impress. The amazing thing for me is that she just continues to go out there and do what she's asked to do by the team. She has all the wealth of experience with that team. We've talked about that before. But you know something? I was looking at qualifying coming up this weekend. I'm making a list of A, B, and C. I put her on my B list, Doc, because I thought she doesn't have the experience. I'm not sure if she's going to be able to go fast, but you know something? I think she's going to go on to the A list and maybe have a shot not only at the front row, but really pole.
Well, speaking of the guy who sat on the pole a year ago, of course, yesterday it was an eventful day for last year's pole winner and race winner, Buddy Rice, an incident that took place shortly after noon yesterday. A hard impact measured 78 Gs, we are being told, into the turn 2 wall. Buddy taken to Methodist Hospital, spent the night at Methodist Hospital. The good news is that he was discharged from Methodist Hospital and is out and has been back in his hotel room here in Indianapolis. And now it is our pleasure to welcome Buddy Rice, who joins us by phone from his hotel room in Indy. Buddy, thanks for taking time to join us. First of all, how are you?
I'm doing good. I got done having a second set of exams from Dr. Trammell. Looks like we got everything under control here. I just have to sit out my couple of days here, and I'll be back in the car.
Buddy, it's really a dream month last year. You were on the pole, you turned around, and you end up winning the pit stop contest and also the race, and now maybe a possibility of missing the race. I missed it in '96 with a back injury. Have you really contemplated yet what it might mean if you can't get back in there and defend your title?
No, because I don't see me getting back in the car is going to be a problem. That's not the issue right now at all from talking with Trammell and stuff. So I think that we'll just we'll keep cruising along. We have to get through a couple the next couple of days. We just have a couple of things they want to just double check and keep an eye on. But I have my standard because of the size of the hit and stuff. You have so many days you have to sit out. I'll have to make sure I do that. But you know, Rahal Letterman's strong and they've been doing a good job, both Vitor and Danica. And I think that at the rate that the team's been doing stuff, we'll be obviously have to be in the second weekend worth of qualifying, but we'll be all right.
Buddy, we know you've talked to some of the engineers. I talked to Steve Dixon today. What do you think happened on that lap yesterday?
You know, I haven't seen any of the data. I haven't seen really a video of the crash or anything. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I imagine those guys will be going through it, and we'll be able to look into it. The odd part is that you don't expect to crash in turn 2. It's usually 1 or 3, and I'm really not sure. I mean, the car was pretty hooked up, and I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened. So we'll find out more as I get back to the track here starting tomorrow.
Buddy, with the concussion, we're told you will be out a minimum of 1 week. Now, what will it take for you to get cleared to get back in the car, and what is the timetable for that happening next week?
I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I just finished up with Trem on a second set of x-rays. Everything's all good there. We know what we have to do. It looks like, you know, obviously I won't be contending for the pole this weekend or anything like that, but definitely come Monday, we're going to sit back down, Trammell. We're going to reevaluate some stuff and start going from there. But, you know, everything's checking out okay. We got just some little things we have to just keep an eye on.
Buddy, the safer barrier right now has only been out here for a couple of years, and this is the second phase of the safer barrier. And I'm not sure if you've seen the video about how much of a dent that you put into the safer barrier itself, but just give us a quick thought of what it means for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Tony George to come out and continue to work towards safety for the drivers today.
Well, I think it's huge. It's showing up everywhere. I don't think it's just at the Indy 500. It's everywhere that they put the safer barrier in. It's helping everybody out, and I think that there's a lot of accidents. I mean, even Brian Hurta's crash in qualifying last year, and for him to be able to come back on the next weekend and start running and you know, get in, I think it's just a lot of these crashes or hits without the safer barrier. A lot of us wouldn't be walking away and looking to come back, you know, in the next, you know, few days.
Buddy, once your teammates, once the people on the Rahal Letterman team knew you were going to be okay, they had a chuckle today because they were saying, you know, you've been so helpful to Vitor Meira and Danica Patrick in coaching them on the racetrack, and now maybe Danica can repay that favor by coaching you because she had to pass that concussion test after Homestead, which you're going to have to pass next week. Yeah,
I mean, I've done that deal before. It's you know, the brain test and stuff. I did one in when I was in Fuschel in Austria. I was using the Red Bull over there, using their equipment in their workout facility in Fuschel. They have a pretty intensive brain workout that they make you go through. You sit there for about 5 hours straight, nonstop. So, you know, we've been through those before. We know what those are like. So we'll just, like I said, Monday we'll go. I think tomorrow I have that just to get through, and I just have a couple things I have to sit the standard minimum out, and then, like I said, I'll be back in the car, and we'll be going from there.
Buddy, we hate to miss you this weekend in qualifying on pole day. We know you didn't show your hand until pole day a year ago, and we don't know what you had this year, but you've seen Danica and you've heard the speeds today. What do you think she and Vitor will have on Saturday come pole day?
I think, it's going to be like last year. I think either one of the Rahal Letterman cars, whether it's Danica or Vitor, have a shot at it. I mean, I know the cars are good. Everything was good. Like I said, obviously, yesterday's deal was a freak deal, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. And like I said, we'll sift back through the information, find out if it's my mistake or if it's a combination of things or what. So, but they definitely have a shot. I think the Panos G-Force is the combination, you know, and they got the right teams over there and the whole group. So they'll be all right. They'll be able to carry the torch for qualifying, and we'll get back after it with the 15 car next week.
Buddy, we are glad you're okay, and we really appreciate you taking time. I know you're in therapy. You're over at the orthopedist now getting looked at. We appreciate you taking time to visit us on the telephone and let everyone at home know that you're going to be fine and be back in for qualifying next week. And best of luck to you and a quick recovery. We hope to see you back at the track early on Monday or Tuesday.
All right, thank you.
Buddy Rice joining us by telephone. Well, Buddies have fared pretty well here recently. Buddy Rice won here a year ago, and back in 1996, it was a courageous Buddy Lazier driving with a broken back who sipped the victory lane milk. Former Indy 500 pole sitter Scott Sharp still waits for his first visit to victory lane and hopes that it comes this year, hoping his patience pays off. As you look at some of the speeds at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today, Danica Patrick, quickest time of the month, 227.633 miles per hour. Kanaan, Matsura, Weldon, and Meira in the top 5. Back in just a moment.
SportsCenter at the Indianapolis 500 is brought to you by Nintendo. Who are you? And Avis. We try harder.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. You know, popular 42-year-old Mexican driver Adrian Fernandez is competing here at Indy for just the first time this year. He finished 2004 as the hottest driver on the circuit, logging 3 wins over the last 6 races. Now today, in only his second full day back in the car, his speeds are already coming up. He's over 222 miles per hour currently on those charts. You know, his participation here in a car he co-entered with IndyCar veteran owner Mo Nunn is a bit unusual, considering that he will compete against his own team, which fields cars for Scott Sharp and Kosuke Matsura. Let's hear from the popular popular Mexican driver right now. He's standing by with our Marlo Klain. Marlo?
Adrian Fernandez is running a very successful two-car operation here at the Speedway during the month of May. Adrian, though, you're running for Mo Nunn. What's this relationship?
Well, basically, I didn't want to build a third-car team with my team for the 500. Why? Because we were going to take away from Scott and from Kosuke Matsuda. So when Morris came to me and say, would you like to do the Indy 500? I have the sponsorship, I get the guys and everything. I just say yes, but I don't want to compete against my own team. So we have to figure out something so we can race all together. And at the end of the day, we all join forces and we sharing information.
Considering how well you guys ran last year here during the month of May, do you feel like you do have a good opportunity to do this as a one-off?
I think we have more knowledge than last year. I think we are better prepared. And for me, really, I haven't been out of the race car for that long. And I think I'm better prepared this year than last year, even though I haven't competed in the first 4 races of the year. So I'm excited because now we can share more information with 2 more drivers, with Kosuke and Scott, which Scott has a lot of experience here. And I think that will make the team Fernandez even stronger.
Tom Anderson and Morris Nunn, they won here with Juan Montoya a couple of years ago. Certainly, they were the driving force behind Ganassi when they were in their heyday in IndyCar racing. Just talk about the comfort level of having these 2 guys behind you during the month of May.
I always liked Morris. He's always been a good friend of mine, and that's why I like the opportunity when it was presented to me today with him and our team. And we have such a good team here, and Tom has done such a good job on leading the team. So it's, we have everything here to be able to win the race. Now we just have to do it.
All right, thanks a lot, Adrian.
Thank you.
Jerry, back to you.
Thank you very much, Marlo. Well, speaking of Fernandez Racing, it is certainly a pleasure to be joined here today by the 1996 Series co-champion and 2001 Indy 500 pole sitter, Scott Sharp. And Scott, thanks for coming up to visit with us. I know it's a very hectic afternoon for you. Now, you stepped into the car when Adrian Fernandez stepped aside. How did all that come about?
Well, it was tough for sure. Basically about middle of last year, Tom Kelly came to Delphi and myself and said he didn't want to be involved in racing anymore, which opened the doors to us pursuing another team. And Delphi talked to a number of different teams and ended up choosing Fernandez, which I was really pleased about because it certainly gave us the opportunity to be with Honda. And from there, it took a little while to get that separation from Kelly and get the situation with Fernandez completed. But and when that all happened, it was under the interpretation that we were going to be a third car, with Adrian and Kosuke. And then with a lot of Adrian's sponsorship situations came about, it ended up being that basically I moved into his seat with his crew, which was a fabulous opportunity. But I certainly felt pretty bad for Adrian. So it's great to have him back.
Now, you've been coming here since 1994, but it's not been easy. I mean, last year I was looking at the record. It was the last only year that you've actually completed all the laps of the race. 2001, obviously disappointment being on the pole and then not even getting through turn 1. But what's the focus this year? I mean, you're doing it in sections, or how are you approaching the month?
It's my favorite track, and I've always been pretty quick here, whether it's in practice or qualifying, whatever it is. I just have never put the race together. Whether it's years when I really feel like I've been on, sort of like last year, and the car and the team haven't been, or years when maybe the car was on and I haven't, gotten it all together. So I just think I've come with so much more confidence. This is really something that I've dreamed about ever since I first started in IndyCars, to be with a team of this caliber. An engineering, technically based team. They think about every day about trying to go faster and make the cars quicker, and that's what you got to do to compete with these guys right now. So I think that just gives me so much more confidence, and I come into the race and certainly focused on getting to the end, getting to the 170, 180 lap mark, and having the car hopefully that we've worked on throughout the year, and we're in a position to be able to go challenge for the win.
We talk about the fact that you've had 2 top 5s this year, and the 2 DNFs were not your fault. You had a problem both times you were taken out of races. But the second place finish at Motegi, what does that do in terms of momentum and confidence for you and this team coming here to Indy?
It was huge, no doubt, Jerry. I mean, we really had a great weekend. It wasn't just the race. We went there. We were quick in practice. We qualified 3rd. We ran with the leaders. We had a little bit. We decided to put tires on the last stop, and some other guys didn't. I think it was the right choice, but we had got shuffled back a bit, and we had to come back through, and it quickly became a fuel management. But we were among the quick cars all day, and to end up second, I think, was great points for us.
Think this is your best chance here this year? Question 1, question 2 part of that is Honda. Is that going to give you the advantage here?
Absolutely, all the way around. You know, I think those two questions go together. You know, I think it's just after so many years of chasing Honda, so many years of being a small kid watching, whether it was Ayrton Senna, whoever it was that always seemed to dominate when they had the Hondas. It's an awesome pleasure to drive for them, and I really do. I think it's just the confidence, you know, to walk into the garage in the morning and know that the engineering staff's been working nonstop. They have a plan. We're gonna go faster. We're gonna make the right decisions.
Right.
Whew, is that ever, you know, reassuring? Yeah, exactly. So I really feel that we're going to have a great car for the race. And, you know, Scott, I mean, you've been so close there. It's a matter of having it all unfold your way, I think, that day. Good pit stops, all those kinds of things. But certainly, I think it's my best chance ever.
Well, 8 career victories, 29 top 5 finishes. After a struggle in 2004, it is good to see Scott Sharp back at the front of the field where he belongs and a contender not only for pole day, but for the Indy 500 back here. Hopefully he'll get one of these. He's been on the pole before, but still hasn't won the race here in the month of May. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Well, 1996 Indy 500 winner Buddy Lazier on the track in his Bird Brothers Panther Chevrolet, currently in the top 20 in his speed overall. It would be the first series start since this race a year ago for the series winner and champion back in 2000. And more speeds from the day where you can see where some of your favorite drivers, Sam Hornish 12th, 13th, Manning 14th, and Buddy Lazier now in the top 15 overall in speed. Well, prepare to rev your engine Saturday afternoon as qualifying for the 89th running of the Indianapolis 500 begins. Who will be the fastest of the fast? Qualifying on our Disney family of networks coming your way. The Indy 500 time trial Saturday on ESPN. It all begins at 1 Eastern time. Over at ABC at 4 Eastern time. Back on ESPN2 at 6 Eastern as pole day comes your way here on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Buddy Lazier takes the checkered flag and wins the Indianapolis 500.
Is it sunk in yet? You're awfully low-key right now. One would think you'd be really genuinely excited, and you're just kind of standing here with a big smile.
No, it hasn't sunk in. It's not going to sink in for, I'm sure, a week or two. It's unbelievable.
Well, that was 9 years ago. Now, many believe this is the best chance Buddy Lazier has to win Indy in the last 5 years of coming here. What does he think? Let's ask him. He's with our Marlo Klain.
Jerry, Buddy Lazier has been fast since he hit the track on Tuesday. Buddy, one of the reasons you think is because you guys did a Firestone test here before Japan, so you were comfortable with this team before you even got here during the month of May.
That's true. I mean, you know, the whole staff from John Barnes, I mean, all the team owners, Andy Brown, my race engineer, I mean, the guy is awesome. So I feel very fortunate to be in this position. And we've been working through, like everybody, getting ready for qualifying, taking downforce out. And really, the car's just really responding. I have a great group of guys here. I mean, my portion of the team, I think the whole team works together and shares information, but my portion have just started working together for the last 2 days, and we're doing quite well.
Are you even surprised by your comfort level? I mean, you haven't run a full race since last year's 500.
That's true, and I have been running a lot of different things, but you know, Indianapolis Indy cars, I love them, and you know, I know my way around pretty well. So, and it never hurts when you have a crew like this and a team like Panther, the Bird Brothers Racing. Andy Brown is my engineer. I can't just say enough about the engineering on this team.
You have mentioned Andy Brown a couple of times. For people who don't know, he was the engineer for Sam Hornish Jr.'s 2 championships, so he certainly has so much knowledge when it comes to this place.
That's true. And I've competed against him so many times, so it's really nice to be on his side.
As far as Chevrolet goes, this is their last year in this series, and they've come out so strong here. Are you even surprised by that?
No, not at all, because a lot of that went into the decision process. Over the winter, they really did their homework. And, you know, so many could walk away and sort of sneak out, but instead they just they came in fully committed, and it shows.
But you haven't had a full-time ride in a couple of years. Is there an opportunity, if this does go well, that this could become something more long-term?
Well, we're working on all sorts of things, and if the time was right, then hopefully it'll come together.
All right, thanks a lot, Buddy.
Thank you.
Jerry?
Thank you, Marlo. Good to see Buddy smiling. You know, Scotty, you've known and raced against Buddy Lazier for a long time, so it probably doesn't surprise you that he's gotten up to speed here so quickly.
You know, a fierce competitor. I mean, you just think about Buddy Lazier with that horrific accident that he had at Phoenix back in 1996, and then just a couple of months later, he's climbing in the car here in Indianapolis for everybody's disbelief to go and try and race 500 miles, and he ends up winning the event. I mean, that was something that even I found amazing, but he is such a competitor. Everybody knows if Buddy Lazier is in your mirrors, watch out, because he is tenacious. He goes after after you all the time, and he gets to work with Andy Brown, who was also my engineer, and we finished second in the championship, and Sam Hornish won 2 championships after I left the team. The key thing right now is that he's very happy, he's very eager, not been in a car, a very hungry driver. There's a lot of worried teams up and down this Indianapolis paddock right now, knowing that Buddy Lazier is going to be on the racetrack.
A lot of courage in 96. He won that race with 16 fractures in his lower back and got in the car and somehow overcame the pain and numbness to win it here at Indy. Incredible effort by Buddy Lazier. When we come back, Tony Kanaan takes us to school IndyCar Series style as we visit with the kids in Tony's Take. And more speeds of the day coming your way here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Taking a look at Kosuke Matsura rating Bombardier Rookie of the Year in 2004, coming off his best finish at Motegi this year just a couple of weeks ago. Speeds of your favorite drivers flashing by.
SportsCenter at the Indianapolis 500 is brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift your ride.
Taking a look back live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Fastest speeds of the month, and there is Tony Kanaan, second quickest, 227.525 miles per hour. Today in Tony's Take, the champ visits some of the students from the Crestwood School in Paris, Illinois.
Well, guys, on this edition on Tony's Take, we're going to go meet some kids from an elementary school, and hopefully they won't confuse me with Vin Diesel, and we get to talk about some racing in Indianapolis. So follow me, and hopefully they will treat me nice.
What persuaded you to start racing?
My dad really was a race car driver, and obviously as you grow up, you look to be like your dad sometimes. And, you know, I asked him for a go-kart, and didn't take him the day that I asked for the day that I got one. It took 24 hours, so I guess he was waiting for me to ask, and that's how I started. Yeah.
What was it like the first time you got in a race car?
I crashed, so
Ever had a speeding ticket?
rarely. I got one actually since I'm here, so it's been pretty good. Actually, I have 4 teammates, and they used to call me Miss Daisy because I drive very slow. Well, thank you very much. Well, there was another edition of the Tony's Take. Wasn't that painful as you guys saw. It was fun. And tomorrow, I'm going to take you guys inside my motorhome to see where is my house during the month of May. That's where I live the whole month, so stay tuned because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you very much, Tony. The kids love Tony Kanaan, and why wouldn't you? You know, our SportsCenter coverage live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway comes your way Monday through Friday, 6:30 Eastern Time. On Friday, we'll have a preview of what's going to happen on pole day here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Scott, as we watch Scott Dixon on the racetrack, your thoughts on today's practice?
Always love practice on Thursday and Friday, and tomorrow all the drivers look forward to what we call Fast Friday, Doc, because the qualifying engines go in the cars tonight, and all those drivers are looking forward to going fast tomorrow. And Friday's all about finding out who the contenders and who the pretenders are going to be, because all the aero comes off the car, and you want to go fast on Friday.
And in case you haven't heard, Danica Patrick is dialed in, 227.633 miles per hour. The rookie is the quickest of the month. More from SportsCenter at Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Time. So long, everyone.